My boyfriend displayed my nudes on a wall of women he and his friends have slept with. I feel like my life has been ruined. This all just happened 1 hour ago, so I'm really shaken. Sorry if it's too long. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years and 4 months. We met at the college that we go to. My parents live in the same city where our school is, but my boyfriend lives about 6 hours away. When school is in session, we both live on campus. I haven't been able to see him since it closed due to COVID and we had to go home. Some background. My boyfriend has a group of friends in his hometown that I've never liked. They've been friends since high school, and believe me when I say that they still belong in high school. 2 of them are brothers from a rich family who don't work or go to school. They spend their days smoking weed and playing video games. One of the other friends is in the military and the 2 last friends and as well as my boyfriend are in college, but all go to different schools. It's pretty rare that they're all home at the same time, especially with the one being in the military. He's away a lot. My boyfriend is really protective of the time they have together. I've spent a lot of time with these guys because every time I visit my boyfriend's hometown I see at least the 2 brothers. You may be wondering why I don't like these friends. For one, they don't believe in girlfriends. My boyfriend is the only one in the group who has been in a relationship for longer than a few months. They think women are good enough for sex and not much else. I'm not putting words in their mouths. One of them literally told me to my face. I'm very outspoken, so they hate me because I call them out on their bullshit. It goes without saying that it's basically their mission to convince my boyfriend to dump me. Whenever there is an issue between his friends and I, he just tries to stay out of it. He doesn't stand up for me. I hate who he becomes when he's trying to impress those assholes. The majority of our arguments have been a result of him allowing his friends to treat me like shit. They've been rude or blatantly ignored me. My boyfriend is the calmest, sweetest, most wonderful person. Or so I thought. I never understood why he kept them around when it was so clear to me that he had outgrown them. It appeared that they had pretty much nothing in common. I see now how alike they are after all. For the record, I knew I should have held him more responsible for his friends. However, it was just too easy to put them out of my mind. They were only ever an issue if they were outwardly rude to me during one of the few weeks per year I hung out with them. The rest of the time he was a really great boyfriend. I never imagined him hurting me this way. Back to the story. The 2 brothers live in a house that's detached from the main one their parents live in. It's where they all usually hang out. I've been there many times. It has its own kitchen and everything. It's literally a smaller house. They also have a basement that I've only seen a couple times because it's their man cave. I never cared to enter anyway. I had no idea, but apparently down there all of the friends have this wall that has their names on it and pictures of the women they've each fucked lodged below. Apparently not all the pictures are sexual, but there are mostly nude pictures because they have this 6-point system. Like it's a game and they get more points if the picture is a nude. I guess all of the pictures look like they were taken with the knowledge of the woman in the photo. But I doubt any of them knew it was going to be fucking tacked up on display. They'd been doing this for years. I'm disgusted and horrified and devastated because I had no idea this is the type of man I was with. I found out because I'm friends with the sister of the 2 brothers and she saw the wall herself. She reached out to only me because I'm the only one she knows personally. She said that my boyfriend had the least amount of pictures by his name. She showed me the picture of me he had tacked on the wall. It was a full body nude I had sent over a year ago. Thankfully it does not have my face in it, but I have a tattoo on my thigh that makes it very obvious the woman in the picture is me. I would never consent to let those guys see my body that way. I let my boyfriend because I trusted him. I feel shocked, embarrassed, betrayed, violated, objectified, and a little frightened. I called my boyfriend, I admit, in hysterics. It took many attempts before he was able to understand what I was saying. He at first denied the existence of this wall, then he admitted it exists, but he didn't use a real picture of me. He used a picture of someone else and pretended it was me. I told him I'd seen the pic and knew damn well it was me. Then he started sobbing hysterically, begging for forgiveness. Then he was annoyed at me for being so upset and asked what's the big deal. Since I'm hot anyway. I just hung up because I can't talk to him. I can't look at him. I feel physically nauseous thinking about what he did. How he could not only share my nudes with his friends who look down on me, who treat me badly for being a woman. He allowed those men to have access to my body. I have never been so wrong about a person. I could never forgive him. I think I may want to press charges if I can get the sister to send me more pictures of the wall. But I'm sure my boyfriend has alerted his friends so they could be taking it down as I type this. I'm heartbroken. I don't know how I'm gonna tell my family because they are very conservative. They don't even know about my tattoo. I'm so ashamed. I don't know what to do. Please know that there are resources available to you for situations like this. I am so sorry and you have every right to feel violated and scared. This is abuse, and egregiously so. Your consent, autonomy, and privacy were not only ignored, but deeply violated. I am hoping that you will not receive any derogatory comments here, but sadly sometimes they do show up. If that happens, know that so many people stand with you. None of this is your fault, and you do not deserve this. You said you are ashamed, but I hope one day you are able to understand that the shame is his and his friend's shame, and theirs alone. This was not consensual. You had no idea this would happen. You couldn't have any idea. I hope the following resources are helpful, even if your situation does not involve electronic distribution of images. Though sadly I would not be surprised if it does. These organizations help with a wide array of issues pertaining to non-consensual distribution of intimate images. The Cyber Civil Rights Initiative is a survivor-led organization for victims of non-consensual pornography, NCP. They offer a 24/7 crisis line, referrals to pro bono and low bono attorneys, image removal guides, tech policy work, information about state and international law around NCP, research on NCP, etc. You can reach them at the link above or call their 24/7 line at 844 878 CCRI 2274. They do also have international resources. Without My Consent is similar to Cyber Civil Rights Initiative, although they have now been folded into CCRI. They offer a helpful Something Can Be Done guide for survivors of NCP as well as a multitude of other resources. Badass Army is similar to the above, but they also offer an online support group for NCP survivors. This is an anonymous, confidential space to seek support from other individuals who have experienced similar violations. The Safety Net project from the National Network to End Domestic Violence offers a survivor toolkit for individuals who have experienced abuse involving technology. In the event that the images were also shared electronically, the toolkit covers technology safety planning, documentation guidance, spyware and stalkerware information, cell phone and smart tech guidance, online safety considerations, and technology-facilitated sexual assault guidance. I also want to offer 2 online sexual violence support groups in case you ever want to seek support in that way. Your local domestic violence or sexual violence agency will also likely offer support groups, both in person and online. Non-consensual pornography is a form of sexual abuse. After Silence is an online sexual violence support group, and so is Pandora's Aquarium. He at first denied the existence of this wall. Then he admitted it exists, but he didn't use a real picture of me. He used a picture of someone else and pretended it was me. I told him I'd seen the pic and knew damn well it was me. Then he started sobbing hysterically, begging for forgiveness. Then he was annoyed at me for being so upset and asked what's the big deal, since I'm hot anyway. This part disturbed me more than the rest. The fact that he didn't just fess up straight away but went through the entire list of excuses shows he has no actual remorse. He may seem like a sweet guy, but he's obviously not. He and his friends are just a group of losers. To tack into this, because you only have a phone call of him admitting this is real, I would text him again on the pretense of possibility forgiving him. Reference your phone call with him. You printed out a full-body nude photo of me and hung it on your basement wall for all your friends to see. I know you said it wasn't a big deal, but my tattoo is visible, so clearly everyone knows it's me. Do you understand how violating that is? How do you feel about all the other nude pictures that were pinned up? None of these women even knew about this. I'm just trying to understand why you think this is okay. I need to understand this before I decide to move forward with our relationship. So you believe printing these nudes without consent is wrong? Why did you go along with this? Why didn't you just decline to add my pictures? That was a private photo I shared with you. I never would have sent it if I knew it was going to end up on a bulletin board of your friend's bang list for everyone to see. I mean, you know that's illegal, right? Don't go straight into the questions. Your goal is not to interrogate, but to get him to admit in writing he knew what he did was wrong. Make him think he has a chance with you. Right now you have all the leverage. Obviously don't tell him you are going to the police, but right now you need to gather as much evidence in writing. Edit. Do the same with the sister. Ask her how many women were on the board and if she knows any of them. Be careful about informing her you're gathering evidence. She may have a change in morality once she realizes her own brothers may face criminal charges. Once you have solid evidence of this board existing, I would try to reach out to the other victims. Depending on how soon this happened, I may even consider driving over at night and see if you can find the images in their trash. Once it's on the street, it's public property. Lawyer here. The above texts are a good idea. You just need him to admit that the board exists, that your picture is on it, and that he was the only one of this group you sent that picture to. You do not need him to admit that he knew what he did was wrong. Hoping this makes it easier for you to collect evidence. I would seriously copy and paste some of the questions typed above and send them to this guy. The conversation needs to be constructed around the pretense of reconciliation. She can't just blast him with questions. He will likely become immediately suspicious and stop speaking to her. Except you know that's illegal, right? No reason to give him a hint that you're collecting evidence right there in the text. It doesn't matter if he knew it was illegal or not. Ignorance of the law is not a defense for breaking it. I don't know if it's been said, but depending on how long they've been building this wall, they may very well be pictures of under 18s nude on there from when the guys were under 18 themselves. So they may be involved in taking and spreading child pornography too. So there may be more serious charges, in which case the sister might be scared to help once she knows police will be involved. Your boyfriend may not have the most pictures, but you don't know the ages of the other girls in them. Do this. Also, if he doesn't bite for whatever reason, check out your state's recording consent laws. Many states have one-party consent, which means that as long you know it's being recorded, then it's legal and admissible as evidence. Do not lose your cool. Remain cool, calm and collected. Then when this is done, I would consult a lawyer to make sure what I did was legal and bring the legal stuff to the police. The police might try to bust you if you bring them illegally obtained evidence. It's not necessarily their job to protect you in this matter. It is a lawyer's job that you consult with to look after your best interests legally. I'd also be concerned that if they have been adding to this wall for years, are some of these pictures from when they and their partners were underage? Teach these losers a lesson. You are kick-ass. This is such a horrifying and awful thing to do to someone, and the only people who look bad here are your ex and his friends. I am so proud of how you are standing up for yourself even though you are going through such a rough time. It is a big betrayal of someone who you thought you could trust, and it will take a while to feel normal again. But when you do, I hope you keep your head up high, because you seriously are an inspiration.